Good afternoon. This is Francine Chirambo, your relationship coach. I'm so happy to be here this afternoon. I'll be responding to a few questions that I have received. Let me just reduce the volume. So welcome. This is Francine Chirambo. There we go. I had lost the screen. Okay. Welcome to this live chat this afternoon. It's a holiday, May the 1st. I'm not sure where you are, if it's also a holiday, but I've been home and I've been resting. Thank you so much to everybody that is going to join us this afternoon. And today I'll be responding to lost interest, finances, dating too long, does age matter in a relationship, and a few more questions. Feel free to comment in the comment box. Feel free to like. Feel free also to let me know where you are tuning in from. So last week, we spoke quite a lot on different matters. There is one question that keeps coming up on fathers. And I would still like to say that if you have a problem with your father, or if you had a problem with your father when you were young, I would recommend that you seek help. I got this question again today on whether somebody who didn't grow up with the father is short-tempered, or anything that is going wrong in the relationship usually is being blamed on somebody that did not grow up with their father. So I would like to still say that if you are somebody who didn't grow up with your father, or your father abandoned you for one reason or the other, kindly seek some help. Help is available. If you can't find somebody to assist you, kindly get in touch with me. So what happens most of the time is that when you are angry as a child, it carries on into adulthood. And when you begin to date, when you get married, that anger is heaped on your spouse, and it's not right. So again, I would like to encourage you to seek help. So I won't talk about it again today. I'm just going to proceed to respond to the other messages that are. Let me just switch off this phone. Sorry about that. Okay, so today I'll be talking about, I'll start with responding to this question on, let me just find it. My first question today is there a way of teaching someone to be romantic? So this page is about relationships, and your questions that are coming through are really relevant for a lot of people that are watching, a lot of people that are listening. So as I respond, if you want, you can comment in the comment box. So this person says, is there a way of teaching someone to be romantic? I would say yes. You can teach somebody to be romantic, but you can't force it on them. What I can say is that you can, first of all, try to understand this person's character. Okay, because sometimes it has everything to do with their kind of character. If somebody is not really expressive, they may find it quite difficult to be romantic. But in your case, if you have a spouse or you have a partner that is not romantic, you can assist them by being romantic yourself. So do certain things that are going to count as romance on the other side, and your partner is going to eventually learn from you. So you can teach somebody who is not romantic to be romantic. You can buy them some books, or perhaps you can also encourage them to watch some movies where they can learn what to do. And I would also encourage you or your spouse to go to seminars that teach on marriage enhancement. So marriage enhancement programs will always teach, will give you tips and advice on how a couple can be romantic to each other. So firstly, understand the character and then begin to communicate. So if you're feeling your spouse is not romantic as you want them to be, communicate to them, let them know how you feel, but don't be harsh on them, because it's not going to happen within a short time. It's not going to happen in a day. It's going to take long for them to get out of that comfort zone. So just be sure to be patient with them. Okay, welcome. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Kindly leave a comment if you'd like to. I'll appreciate that. So my second question is coming. No, I'm not going to disclose where it's coming from, but I'll just read it out. I have a couple. Let me just put it up here. So the question says, if your wife has an account, which is a family account meaning the siblings, yeah, it's for the siblings. So this question is not framed so well. But anyhow, my understanding of this question is that here is a wife who has an account with her siblings. So the parents left property before they died and they are renting out this property. So the income is getting into this account. So the children are able, the siblings are able to share this, this money, or the funds rather. The problem here is that this husband doesn't feel comfortable because the wife has not disclosed how much is in the account, and the wife has not contributed towards the home budget. So that is the question. That is the problem here. Okay, so I'll just start by speaking to this husband. I hope you are listening, or you are going to get hold of this video, I'm sure. But firstly, I understand that when siblings put money together, they want to treat it as family money. But when you get married, you move away from the siblings and you begin to work together as a unit, as a husband and wife. So any income that comes in, whether it's income brought in by you as a wife or you as a husband, that income has to be accounted for. So everybody, both of you rather, must have access to this income. So for this wife, apparently what is happening is that she keeps the money in the family accounts and she doesn't contribute anything towards the house, towards her own household, which is really not right. Okay. I would advise this wife, if you're going to get hold of this video, I would advise you to be open about the funds that you are getting from your family account. I would advise you to be open about it and to be honest about it. You may not have to contribute towards the home budget, but just let your spouse know what is happening within the family. And then to the husband, I know that there are a lot of times when husbands are expecting their wives to bring in some income. I would say, if you're a husband and you are able to afford everything at home, why do you need your wife's income? You are the provider, okay? So what has been happening is that a lot of men don't want to be providers anymore, and I really don't understand. Every man wants to take up the headship in the house, but when it comes to providing, they want to go 50-50, and it's not right. On the other hand, it's okay. If you can't afford to take care of the household, your wife can chip in. That is why she's there. She's a helper. So to this couple, I would say, you as a wife, disclose the income that you are getting from your family. Do chip in if your spouse cannot afford. And to the husband, focus on the provision. Yeah, the provider. Don't really squeeze anything out of your wife unless you are not able to sustain the family. Okay. So that's it on this income. A lot of times, I got a question a while ago, even though it's not part of today's questions. I got a question where somebody asked about estate. When a parent is deceased and they leave maybe a house or anything, any estate, and it needs to be shared amongst the children. I have noticed that most of the people want to keep that as an extended family kind of estate, and they don't want to bring it into the marriage because they feel they inherited that. It's their inheritance and they don't want to bring it into the marriage. The reason they have given is that if they divorce, they are going to lose out everything, even the little that their own parents left them with. But my emphasis on this is that you stay open, that you disclose everything else that you have. It's going to be much easier for you. Okay. So let's move on to our next question. I'm not able to view the comments, but I'll look at them afterwards. Maybe I can. I just want to look at this comment that has come there. Okay, so our third question is talking about age. Age in a relationship. Just want to quickly look at what has come through. Okay. Maybe I can. I just want to look at this comment that has come through. Okay. Hi, Charity. Thanks for your comment. I'm going to respond to it. Okay, so let me just look at point 3. So our third question is talking about age. Okay. Point 3 is talking about age. Does it really matter in a relationship? It's dependent on how you feel. Okay. I've been asked this several times, and I would say it matters. For me, it matters. I'm not sure how you take it yourself, but I feel it matters. It also depends on the gap, you know. If it's just a small margin, it's okay. If you're the same age, that's fine. 2-3 years is okay. But when you go beyond 5, I think you're going to have a problem in future. That's what I have observed. A lot of people say age doesn't matter, and they go ahead and they get married, and it's fine. But along the way, one of them is going to feel the pressure. So I would say the age difference matters. If you are your husband or your fiancé or your husband to be is just a few years younger than yourself, it can work. But if somebody is 10 years younger, I think you are going to experience a bit of problems, because what I know is that a lot of women get to mature quite fast. And when they mature fast, this man is still wanting to play or is still behaving a bit childish, I must say. It's going to be difficult for you as a woman. So if you feel age is not going to be a problem and it's not going to cause anything in your relationship, it's okay. You can get married. I always say I won't help you to choose your spouse. You will have to choose on your own based on how you are feeling. So if you feel age is just a number, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. But if I were to give you my own opinion, I would say it is not fine. Okay. So I will move on to, I have very short questions today, so I won't be elaborate. I also feel maybe because it's a public holiday, everybody just wants to be in their comfort zone. So I also don't have much to respond on. Okay, so this person says, I have lost love and trust for my husband. I'm afraid I'm thinking of divorce. This is sad. If you are listening, I would like to know what really caused you to lose this love, to lose the interest in your spouse. These things don't just happen. Normally, we see the red flags and we ignore them. And then before you realize it, it turns out to be something that cannot be sorted out. So for this person who has said, it's actually a lady, she says she has lost love and interest in her and trust in her hubby. Maybe the husband cheated on her, or maybe the husband hasn't been honest. That is why she feels she has lost interest. But again, I would encourage you to communicate to this man, to your husband, communicate to him, be open about how you feel. Let him know that you are not trusting him and give him the reasons why you are not trusting him. You're talking about thinking of divorce. Has it gone that far? Okay, so before you get to divorce, before you even think about it, I would like you to firstly have an open conversation with your spouse. Tell him how you feel, tell him your fears, and get to hear what he's saying about it. I would like you to really understand what has caused this. What is the root of this problem? How did it start? How did you start feeling this way? And when did you start feeling this way? That is how you are going to sort this one out. So for me, divorce is not the answer. It's a pity. I wish you had written a little bit more so that I understand you and I know where you are. But I'm one person that is not going to encourage divorce. I would encourage you to even get in touch with me so we can have some sessions, or you can find somebody that you can speak to and explain if you're not able to get back to me on this one, because I think you can be assisted. Last week, we talked about how one can restore trust when it's been lost. I mentioned that trust takes a while to build, but it takes a short time to destroy. And everybody in a relationship must understand this. They must be careful how they go about their lifestyle, because as soon as you do something silly, that trust is broken, and it's going to take almost forever to mend it, to build it. So for this wife who has lost interest, I would also encourage you to attend seminars and learn from other people as well before you skip to your divorce. But please do get back in touch. I'll be happy to assist you. Okay. So I want to respond to this lady. Charity. Charity says, I grew up without a father. Maybe you must understand this. They must be careful how they go about their lifestyle, because so she says she grew up without a father, and she also says she's 26. She's 26 years and still don't have a partner, because she says, I'm 26 years and still don't have a partner because I think they don't understand me. How do I get a man to understand me, especially my emotions? Okay. There was a time when I posted on my page that make it easy for your partner or your spouse to love you, okay? And somebody wrote back and said, just how can that happen? How can I make it easy for them to love me? So looking at what Charity has written here, I think, Charity, you need help. If you feel somebody doesn't understand you, if it's just one person, we can say maybe the other party made a mistake. But if you're going to have different relationships with people and you have the same problem coming up, I would think you might need it can't just happen that you're the only one who is feeling like you're the only one who is not being understood. Perhaps you also don't understand the other party. So I would say seek help, and so that you can understand yourself first. Before you let others want to understand you, understand yourself first, and then you'll be able to communicate to them what is wrong or what you don't like about the relationship. So for you, just try to understand yourself first, and then get to speak to your partner about it. I would also suggest that you work on yourself. There was a time when I had a seminar and I was talking about cultivating beauty. Okay, so I was saying that inner beauty is actually better than outward appearance. So you cultivate the inner beauty by spending time in prayer and in worshiping, reading the Word of God. Because as you wait on God, as you spend time with God, your heart is being changed, it's being transformed. So instead of you now concentrating on how this other person feels, you'll be concentrating on actually working on yourself. So that is what I would say about this. So Charity, you need help. I'll speak to you in the inbox so that we can just establish what exactly you're going through. And then I'll be able to advise further. Okay, so there's another question here that comes from a lady who is married. She says, I have been single for 2 years, and this year I met this guy whom we have been talking, and yes, we love each other. Okay, they are interested in each other, but I'm concerned. She says, I'm concerned that I can't see the way forward. Yes, we talk, but not the way we used to talk. Okay, I really need to get married to this person. Okay, firstly, again, I would encourage you to be open about your feelings and fears. You know, ask this person that you are dating, ask them a way forward. I'll say it again. When you begin to date, you should be aware that people are dating for two reasons. They are dating because they want to find somebody who they can spend their life with, or they'll be dating because they're dating for pleasure. So either of the two. So find out from this partner whether, whether he's thinking about getting married or not. You are both adults, and you've already dated for 2 years. You don't need to get to date for another 2 years. There's one reason why men won't marry some people that they have dated for a long time. I'll tell you why. It's simply because a lot of times the ladies are giving themselves too much. You give yourself away too much that this man feels like he has married you already. So he doesn't even see the need to marry you. So in most cases, you find that the woman will wash, she will cook, then you're going to have your sexual, you're going to get intimate. And the minute you begin to have sex with this man that you're dating, they really just don't see the need. They won't be under pressure to marry you because you're giving them everything. They are feeling married. So instead of you doing all these things for this person, just be there to observe what they are doing and make a decision for yourself. You don't have to force him to marry you. You don't need to force him to marry you. That's my point. If he doesn't want to marry you, it's better you leave it there and walk away. Last week, I spoke about somebody who was talking about something similar. And I was saying, if you are not committed, you are not married, just walk away from the relationship. If a relationship is not working and you are not married, just walk away. You have nothing to lose. It's better you start afresh. Find somebody who's going to appreciate you and love you for who you are, instead of pleading for somebody. They will marry you, and the next day they're going to give you a lot of trouble. So just think about it. You don't need to force this person to marry you. Okay. So that's all that I'm going to answer for today. Today is a holiday and I would like to spend it with my family. So I'm going to get off. I want to thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching. I thank you also for liking my page. I'll be back next week, the same time at 3 p.m. Yeah, 3 p.m. is 15 hours. I'll be back. So if you have any questions that you would like us to want me to talk about, let me know so that I can come back and discuss that with you. So from me, it's goodbye and thank you.